Welcome back to Ag Hub. In a previous session, we had looked at a particular field, in fact, this one right here, where we had actually, within this circle, actually drawn the circle and then set it up with two crops and seasons, 2018 irrigated cotton and 2018 irrigated sorghum. And then we actually just began to put inputs into the box, is the way I was, or in this case, into the circle. Had two crops. We don't know exactly where they lay within this particular container, but we've got all the inputs in there. And let me tell you, that's 80% of the battle. So it's worth doing. That way, if you even had a planting map, we're about to have a visualization tool to see where those are, just visualizing them, which will make that great. There is some issues when you do it this way and you want to integrate with IBM weather, because the problem is they actually do some analytics against crops. So if you have both crops in the same container, they struggle. I mean, of course they struggle to do the analytics. It's almost impossible. But if you actually were to designate exactly where these areas were, then the analytics run better. So there are times when it's just better to actually separate the crops, especially if you want those things. So I'm going to use an example. This was a problem that was brought up by a grower. He had this particular pivot, or one like this. This is an exact one, where in the inner circle, he actually had he had dry land cotton inside of here. He had irrigated cotton on the outside. He just has limited water. And so he said, how can I put that in? And so I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually draw that. So we're going to go and use our circle tool. And we're going to go and get right over the top of that pivot, as I've talked about before, using the zoom box. Come out to the edge of what was the dry land. We didn't quite get there, if you'll look, so I can zoom in and grab one of these balls. Just take it out to where it is. Just left mouse click, hold it, and drag it out there. So in this particular example, we've got 72 acres. This is going to be, this is called the east pivot, and this is known as the inner circle. It goes to farm serial number 10,000. We'd set that up last time. It is dry land, so it's not irrigated, even though it sits underneath this pivot. So just keep that in mind. Okay, here we go. Let me get that. Yep. So there we are. No crops in the season showing. Now we're on this particular pivot. Now then, what are we going to do? We got the dry. Now let's go ahead and set this up so we can visualize it better. So this is crop year 2018. We got a May 20th plant date. Oh, let me go ahead and get down here to plant date. Got a May 20th plant date on cotton, and it's dry land. It's not irrigated. And it's about 72 acres with a little bit right there that's around the pivot that's not planted. So we've got 72 acres of cotton there. There it is. We can see it over here, 2018 cotton, and we could actually see exactly how many acres by going here. We see 72 acres. So at this point, how do we draw this outer piece? Well, it's actually very simple given the tool we have called a C pivot. Now, remember, if you were to draw this pivot, well, let's just do it right quick. If you were to do it like you think, well, I just go in and use the same circle tool, and I'll drop on top of that. Let's get right on top, and I'll bring this circle out to the edge. Let me show you what happens. So when we say done, look at the acres. It's 140 acres. That means it's counting what's in the inner circle also. That doesn't work. So that's the only problem. If you want to draw that, you can care about the acres, but we do care about the acres. So I'm going to show you how you do it, and you don't have that issue. So let's cancel this. Let's go back in. Let's actually turn that off. Let's go back into our draw tool. Let's pick the C pivot. Let's pick the C pivot tool. And now let's go right back in on top of that pivot. And now then, let's go over here to where we know we've got a path. We could leave a road anyway. So we just click on that. Then we drag this. We just make a circle with it. I just make a circle. I don't close that completely. And this is the way this actually is, right? Got a little road there. So if you leave a little pie there, then the tool actually will calculate correctly. Look at this, 62 acres. This is going to be known as the east pivot outer circle. It's also part of farm serial number 10,000. It is irrigated. Let's create that. Now let's go out here and let's get that established. Let's go pick up a crop in a season against that. We had a crop in a season, the 2018. We're going to add irrigated cotton. And we're going to plant date. We're going to make it May 1st. And it's going to be 62.3 acres. Just what's left. This is what's available. You know, what happens if you try to plant 65 acres there? If you like, you say you think it's 65 acres, and it's just not going to do it. It says there's not enough field area there. You've got your 2.7 over. So just watch that available box. You can go back and put a 0 there and actually look at it again. You know, you get 62.3, and once you do that, it's going to allow you to set up the cropping season. So right now you have irrigated cotton in this block, and if you were to turn that off and go into this one, you actually have dryland cotton in this block. There you go, dryland cotton in this block. So dryland cotton here. We could set up planting. We could plant varieties. We can do everything we want. But the key is we've now got 2 particular fields to work with. So it's just an example of how you could actually break your crops up. Ag Hub is a very, very unique tool. So anyway, have a great day. Thank you.